My company works with over 100 organisations trying to transform the way that they help people feel like they belong. And by using these 5 pillars of belonging, they're managing to do it. Number 1, make sure every employee feels welcomed. Our partners in higher education do this really, really well, because whenever anyone joins their university, they'll get welcome information from their course, from their halls of residence, from their student union, and maybe even some of the sports clubs and the society groups that they could potentially join. Universities even have a team of students who are dedicated to meeting new students on arrival with moving in day. They literally pick their bags up and move them into their new room. What this does is that it sends a signal straight away that says, you are welcome here and we are really happy to have you. And the thing is, this is really easy to do in the workplace environment as well. It's really simple things like when you have new starters joining your business, how do you communicate with them before they arrived and talk through about what they can expect on day 1, during their first week, and even throughout their first month. Think about those simple, friendly communications that tells them you care and that you want to make them as comfortable as possible in your new shared environment. I think things that we do at Culture Shift with people's onboarding that might be slightly different to others is that we create an onboarding board that gives people activities that they can dip in and dip out of during that first week. It also has content on there that can help you get to know the team a little bit better. What that does is it means that the line manager doesn't have that kind of panic of having to hold the new starter's hand day in, day out, every second of the first week. But it also allows the new starter to kind of be in some meetings, but also know what they should be getting on with and what they can dip in and dip out of to get to know Culture Shift as quickly as possible, during that first week. So I think it just relaxes everyone, and that's a really important part of making people feel comfortable. I think that's something that we do well and different, but I don't. And what I do know about our onboarding is that people are always complimentary about it. Sometimes people have said it's a bit much, as in because there's you get that board and they think that they have to do all of those things within their first week, and that is not the case. It's just dip in and out of this across your first 3 months of being here, essentially, so that you can kind of get under the skin and know where we've been and where we're going, essentially. But I've actually never properly been onboarded into any business that I've ever worked in. It's just been turn up, sit there, and either just shadow another person who's doing the same job as you, and that isn't necessarily the best way of thinking about different people's needs or different people's learning methods or anything. So I think it's thinking through all of those sorts of things as well. Number 2, taking time to actually get to know your team. So whenever anyone new joins the team, we will set up 30-minute meet the team sessions with other team members to help them connect with one another. Before that, we ask them to write down a list of things that they're interested in, either inside or outside of work, so that they can have conversations around those things and get to know each other on a bit of a deeper level. What this does is that it gets rid of that awkward, what am I supposed to talk to this new person I've never met before question, and it gets people having genuine, interested conversations from their very first interaction. Then, a few months down the line, people are then invited to host a lunch and learn about anything that they want to talk about. It's a really great way to get people all together, learning about something completely new and also enjoying a bit of lunch together. It's how I know that Ash isn't just a great finance director, but that he's also a stand-up comedian. And it's how I know that our product marketing manager loves American football just as much as she loves marketing. Number 3, make people feel included as standard, not just as an exception. Here's what people get wrong about belonging. They try and develop initiatives to increase belonging without acknowledging that that feeling is a byproduct of people continually being included in a community or culture. It's the things that you do every single day that send a message to say your inclusion in this isn't just by accident, it's by design. It means that creating spaces where people can share their ideas and have them be truly heard and considered is really important and really centred at all times. It also means that those spaces are intentionally frequent. So, for example, having an LGBTQ+ staff network that meets once a quarter is fantastic. But having a staff network that meets 2 weeks ahead of the quarterly leadership meeting so that those ideas from that space will be shared with the leadership is even better. Number 4, find ways for people to be connected. Now, when people talk about connection within the context of belonging, they often talk about social connection. And that's for good reason too, because allowing your team to connect with one another helps foster those really positive relationships. And there's good practice that you can learn from to do this really, really well, like diversifying the activities and the spaces that you plan for your teams and taking their input into what they want to engage with. But how you encourage your team to connect professionally can be just as important. The unique makeup of the people that you have in your teams is unlike anywhere else. So creating a culture where people can meaningfully connect and learn from all of their colleagues, both personally and professionally, means that the value that they get from working with you is something that no other employer can offer them. So, yeah, culture shift, we have Thursday drinks and we have coffee catch-ups, but we also have learning lunches and the opportunity to shadow colleagues to help our teams connect in a number of ways and truly feel like they're in a space where they can belong and grow. Number 5, make sure your team feels supported. All of our partners have a way for people to speak up when they feel like they don't belong. The important next step is making sure that those voices are heard, uplifted and supported. If you put in the work to make sure that people feel welcomed, known, included and connected within your business, you have to be there to make sure that at the end of the day, if things don't go to plan, there's a support system in place to make sure that poor behaviours don't happen again, that they're dealt with as swiftly as possible there and then. So what do you think? Let me know if you've seen any great examples of these pillars of belonging in practice. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more workplace culture insights. See you next week.